Yes, people, and welcome back to the Ram stand. A little bit something different here. We're not going to go with a live stream. We're going to go with a simple video update. And what can I say? After signing the likes of Szoboszlai and McAllister, once again we've come to the conclusion that Liverpool are going to be quiet about their transfer business, and it's annoying. But what do you say, man? What can you say? It is what Liverpool do. Liverpool are known for being quiet with their transfers, and we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, man. But firstly, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and also comment in the description below what your thoughts on the video and what other videos you'd like to see. The more updates we get, the more I'll be posting out, man. But firstly, I have to start off with what I think of what Liverpool are doing so far, and so far it's been okay. It's been very, very good, to be fair. Um, Liverpool have done their business quite swiftly. Szoboszlai, McAllister, all sorted. If you want a proper update on what's happened on that, you can go over to the previous live streams where we've made our content about that. But firstly, there have been some news, there have been some murmurs going about, and I'd like to first off talk about Levi Colwill. Now, Levi Colwill is a player that has brought in a lot of attention this season. He's played predominantly in a back three with Brighton and Hove Albion, and had a very, very good season with them. I think he was a main part of their successful season in getting into the Europa League and finishing in a all-time high for the club. And look, fantastic player in my opinion. I think comfortable on the ball, a very good defender in his own right. And yeah, he's just been overall a very, very, very good player. Very good player for Brighton. I'm just going to get the stats up for him at this moment. Just bear with me, people. There we go. Here we go. I don't know if you can see it, people, but here we go. So last season, he's made around about 17 appearances for the club, which I thought would be a little bit higher. To be fair, I thought it'd be a lot higher than I thought. I feel as though he's played a lot more games than he actually has. But yeah, all you can see what he's done. He's played multiple minutes. Obviously, playing here and there. He also had a muscle injury here and there. But as a lonely player, as soon as he got his first opportunities, he took it as prominently as perfectly as he should do, man. And so far, after that, he ended up getting consistent minutes for Brighton. But if we're going to talk about the overall player himself, he is more or less a left-sided centre back, and it's something that I've been craving out for, and I've been begging Liverpool to sign because, let's be honest, Robertson's not a left-sided centre back. He's a left back. We can't be playing in a free back if we have a left back and a left-sided centre back, two completely different roles. And I kind of expect Robertson not to play to the same levels as he usually does when he's a centre back because he's not a centre back. It's as simple as that. So put two and two together, you get four. So getting a left-sided centre back is a priority, and us getting Levi Colwill would be a very, very smart piece of business. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult. You have to bear in mind that he is playing for a team that is on the cusp, so it's not the same level, but it's still a big level there or thereabouts, as you can see here. As Fabrizio Romano says, big up the Anfield Talk for notifying us about this. Liverpool are working on both midfielders and defenders. Liverpool have a strong interest in Levi Colwill, but at the moment it's really complicated. On the Chelsea side of things, they say he's going nowhere, and understandably so. Understandably so that Chelsea are thinking that he's an untouchable kind of player. He's homegrown, very talented, and also he's a very, very good footballer, even for his young age. Obviously, had a very, very convincing and very, very perfect tournament with the England under-21s. Granted, it was the under-21 competition, but conceding 0 goals throughout the entire competition is something that I think is no one has ever done in the history of the competition. So that speaks volumes of how good this guy has been. And going towards the Liverpool side of things, the main issue is the price tag, and obviously whether Chelsea will be willing to let go of him to sign for us. I don't expect Liverpool to be paying around about £60 million for him. I'm going to be bluntly honest. I think they'll pay around about £50 to £40 million, give or take. But the main factor in all of this is the fact that we have to hope Levi Colwill will put in a transfer request and therefore twist Chelsea's arm and make them want to sell the player and not keep a player that's not happy with the club. Will I see him doing this? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what his mindset at this moment. I've seen so many rumors and so many pictures off Twitter saying that he's a Liverpool fan. He's very happy to be joining Liverpool. But also, there have been moments where he has said that he would like to go back to Chelsea and take a mainstay at the centre-back position for them. So it's a difficult one, man. It's difficult to say what you're going to say about this one. But for now, if Liverpool get this signing done, I think is going to be a fantastic signing for us. He can play left-sided centre-back in the back three. When he gets older, maybe in the back two, he'll be partnering with Konate, possibly a Virgil van Dijk replacement in latter years. So I think is a no-brainer in my opinion. But like I said before, it depends on whether Chelsea will be willing to give him to Liverpool. I think they preferably want to send him to Brighton in a possible Caicedo deal, but at the end of the day, it's up to the player. If the player wants to move to Liverpool, I don't think Chelsea have a lot of power in stopping him going, in my opinion. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But another player position that we need, and I've been crying out for, is a defensive midfielder, ideally a 6/8. And another player that's been popping up on by interest for Liverpool is this man. It will not stop coming. Romeo Lavia. Liverpool are focusing on 19-year-old Romeo Lavia with his age and Premier League progression key factors in their assessment as they build a younger side. Understandably so. He's played around about the whole season for Southampton. Sorry, he was a key component in their season before they got relegated, and he is a player that is highly touted by a lot of teams, not only Liverpool. There have been rumours that Arsenal are looking for him, and also Chelsea as a possible move if Caicedo doesn't happen. And look, off the back of what we've seen for Southampton, granted he played for a lesser team than Southampton, he is a tremendous player. No doubt about it. He is a tremendous player. He's a player that could break the lines of play, very good, can get stuck into certain challenges if need be, and also has the mobility and the technical ability to get around and across both flanks of the field. And that is something that Liverpool have been lacking for quite a bit of time. Obviously, we've had Fabinho, who's been an incredible signing for us ever since he's joined from Monaco, but he doesn't have the legs anymore. And we saw it last season that he just kept on getting exposed left, right to center from CDM as a lone six. So I think Liverpool are now starting to move towards a more progressive midfielder, if I can zoom in a little bit more. So Romeo Levy has played 29 games for Southampton, scoring 1 goal, played in the FA Cup for 3 times and FA Cup for possible 2 times as well. What's also beneficial about Romeo Lavia is he's homegrown. I know people like to have a go about this whole homegrown thing, but given our record of how many players we have on our roster and they're homegrown and the quality of players that they have, it's not good enough. It's simply not good enough. It's more of a case of you need to bolster that homegrown quota, because at this moment in time, the more homegrown players that you have and that of a certain quality, the better the squad is and the better we can rotate our players. And right now, the problem we've had is rotating players that have the same amount of quality as our starters. I think now we're starting to see what it's all about. Seeing we have McAllister, Szoboszlai, Thiago, Fabinho. Even though he's had a poor season, I think there's a player still there. Fabinho, even if I don't really rate the player himself, but playing in the cup games, Henderson, Bajcetic as well, who's coming through. Curtis Jones had a little bit of a resurgence in the latter stages of last season. These are players that we need, and they have to be of a quality. Add Romeo Lavia to that, I think our rotation is a lot more easier, and we don't need to put strains on the likes of Thiago and McAllister. We can rotate them as much times as possible. And do you know who will benefit from that the most? Liverpool. Liverpool can be able to challenge on multiple fronts, because when we challenged for the quad, Naby Keita played around about 40 games that season. Thiago, 40 games. Henderson, 60 games. Fabinho, 50 games. These are all games that we kept on rotating and rotating. Curtis Jones played about 20 to 30 games that season before he got his injuries. Like, that's the kind of thing that we needed. Oxlade-Chamberlain played about 15 games, more than we expected him to play. That's why we challenged for the quad, because we started rotating our players, and those players brought in the output that was necessary to win, to challenge on all fronts. That's how it is. That's how the game works. That's how City's got a great squad. If there's no Bernardo Silva, bring in Ilkay Gundogan. If there's no Kevin De Bruyne, they can put Phil Foden in midfield. If there's no Riyad Mahrez, they could bring Phil Foden onto the right-hand side. Like, quality of depth. Take off Erling Haaland, bring on Julian Alvarez. Fantastic replacement. Take off Ruben Diaz. They got Laporta, Ake, Stones, Akanji. Quality players around them. And that is something that Liverpool have been lacking. That's why we struggled to win multiple competitions in one season. We struggled to retain our title. We struggled to win as much trophies as we needed to be. That's something that Liverpool need to work on. And at this moment in time, if I can get up the team 11 right now that I've got, so far we've got Alisson, Kelleher, and Adrian as our goalkeepers. I don't know why Adrian's still there, in my opinion, but that's how Klopp wants to run his things. So be it. Right centre back, we've got Konate, Phillips, and Gomez. And well, if I go through the whole centre backs, we've got Van Dijk, Matip, Phillips, Gomez, Konate, and obviously Sepp Vandenberg, who's just come back from Schalke. At left back, we've got Robertson and Tsimikas. At right back, we've got Alexander-Arnold and Calvin Ramsey, and the other player, Connor Bradley, as well. At CDM, we've got Fabinho, Henderson, Bajcetic. In centre midfield, we've got Alexis, McAllister, Thiago, Jones, and Szoboszlai. Obviously, Elliott can play there, but I really don't want him to play there. And at the right wing, we've got Salah. And as a backup to him, we don't have anyone proper, but I prefer Elliott as the right backup right winger. Up front, we've got Gakpo, Nunez, and Jota if need be. I think Jota will probably be the backup striker for me instead of Nunez. I'm more convinced of him up front than Nunez. And obviously Diaz as the left winger, with Jota being the backup left winger if need be. So far, attacking-wise, I think we're solid. Attacking-wise, done. I think we can't get any better than that. Maybe a backup right winger. I know we mentioned that in the title of the stream. A backup right winger is probably necessary if we were going to go all out this summer. But Liverpool Football Club don't want to do things the way that a proper big club will want to do. So we have to think about that probably for the next season when Salah starts to slowly decline. Hopefully Salah can keep up his performances. I believe he can for the next season and maybe even the season after, in my opinion. But forward-wise, sorted. Midfield-wise, the big concern is centre midfield. Is there enough quality around to constantly rely on these players? And at this moment, I wouldn't say no. We'll go through the main bulk of roster. You've got Thiago, McAllister, Szoboszlai, and if you want, Henderson in there. But actually, I wouldn't even put him in that category as three very, very, very good midfielders. Below that, you got your Hendersons, your Curtis Jones, your Bajcetic. These are players that I don't think Liverpool can rely on for a full season. Especially if we want to go and have ambition of winning the Europa League, as Szoboszlai said. He don't mind sacrificing the Champions League, but that means we've got to win the Europa League. That's what he said, and that's the expectation Liverpool has. Centre midfield wise, I still think we need one more. And I feel as though Romeo Levy can be that player. He can play as a centre midfielder because of the technical ability he has, the ability to go past midfielders and plays those cutting edge balls. He has that in his locker. So having him as an option in centre midfield, if need be, would be very fruitful for us. So I can now completely understand why Liverpool are looking at him as a possible player. But the big issue for me, centre back, I said it this whole summer. People are starting to really talk about it now, which I'm kind of happy that they are. We are lacking in centre back quality. What I saw of Van Dijk last season was very, very concerning for me. I think the only centre back that I felt as though I could rely on is Konate, and that is very, very worrying in my state of mind. I feel as though we need to bolster our centre backs as much as possible. And signing a Levi Colwill will be something that I'm looking forward to if we do end up doing it. A player that is still only 20, 21 years old, homegrown, and is a quality centre back. Very, very much a quality centre back. Can drive forward with the ball, has brilliant passing range, dominant in the air, and can read the game as well as possibly most centre backs in the Premier League for his age. It's very, very frightening how good this player is. And if Liverpool can get this done, and if he can force a move away to Chelsea, it's going to be a very, very exciting prospect for Liverpool fans. It's something that could help us not only here and now, but also for the next 5 to 7 years. We've got our centre-back partnership. We've got our Konate, Colwill centre-back partnership. You know, two relatively big guys. I think Konate 6'4", Colwill I think 6'2", 6'3". Both, well, Konate is not as good as a centre on the ball as Colwill, but Colwill's fantastic on the ball as a centre-back. Konate, the more of the aggressor and the dogged centre-back that will get into challenges. Colwill, the more of a relaxed centre-back who will sweep up if need be. That is a partnership that in the next 5 to 7 years could be very, very scary for most opposition in the Premier League. And it's something that Liverpool should be trying as much as they could to get done. And it's now down to Jurgen Klopp and Jürgen Smacker. It's up to them at this moment. All they can do right now is to encourage and try and sell the project as much as possible. The only way Colwill joins is if he's invested in the project. And the only two people that can convince him is Jurgen Klopp and Jürgen Smacker. They've done terrifically well this summer transfer window. They got in Szoboszlai and Alexis McAllister. But there's still work to be done. There's still work to be done in order for Liverpool to go back to where they deserve to be, which is challenging for league titles. We've done all the hard work the season prior with the likes of Mane, Salah, Firmino, but now it's time to properly rebuild this team. And if we get this done, not only after Jurgen Klopp leaves, but the next manager can come in and be like, I've got an incredible set of players here, and I think I can carry on what Jurgen Klopp's done and continue the success that Liverpool are aiming to be at. But with all these players, we have to have expectations. And like I said earlier, this summer transfer window, regardless of who we get in the transfer window, we should be winning the Europa League. We are by far better than everybody else in the Europa League. I think if you go through the coefficients, we're the only three-figure team in the Europa League. Everyone else, I think the closest is around about 80 points. That is ridiculous. And with those standards, we should be winning it. And if we do get a Colwill and Lavia, minimum challenging for the league title. I'm not talking about take it to the last day of the season, whereas both of us has like 92 or 93 points. I'm talking about we should challenge. And if we end up finishing 5 points behind them at the end of the campaign, it's still a decent season because it's still a relatively young squad. It's still a decent season to have for a team that's growing. And another thing, we have to go further in the domestic competitions. Last season, we got a little bit unlucky. We got against Man City, and obviously Man City had the quality to get a job at hand. But at this moment, we need to do better. We need to do better. We need to go up into these competitions thinking we're the best team in the league, in the competition. And that's what we lacked last season, we got humbled by Brighton in our worst period under Jurgen Klopp. We need to change that. We need to make people fear us more often. And with that, on that note, I'm going to leave it here, folks. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Give your thoughts. Lavia, Colwill, are these the players that are going to take us back to where we need to be? Back to challenging Manchester City, back to winning league titles that we did. We've only had a success once. But do you think these players can help us regain our standing within the Premier League? As I said it here, ladies and gentlemen, with these signings, I think we could go back to where we need to be. And on that note, I'll leave it here, folks. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up to everyone who's watched this. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all guys very, very soon.